folks, and welcome once again to Great Chesterford Junction Model Railway, and this is another update for May in 2024, and we're just sneaking it in right at the end of May. So yeah, we just got in by the skin of our teeth with this one. Now you've probably previously seen my Small World series, which is part 1 and part 2, which is dealing with mostly this side of the railway here. Now when I made part 2, I had an extra bit that I felt was just making the video too long, and that was dealing with the yard over there near the engine shed, actually over here and behind me here. So we're talking about this area here, the little goods store, or it's the stores for the engine shed, water tank, and the little line side hut down there, the turntable, and over to the engine shed, and finally finishing on over there at the tunnels. But before we do that, I've got a very short slideshow for you that shows the build on this footbridge here that I've mentioned in previous updates. And so this is complete now, and I'll show you how it was put together. It's come up reasonably well. It's an odd shaped footbridge. It's higher on one side than it is on the other to suit the side here, but you can see how it was all put together in the slideshow, so we'll do that now. and now we get on with, in effect, it's part 3 of It's a Small World, so I hope you enjoy that. Now we move down into the yard, and here we've got a store facility that serves the engine shed. So we've got oil and all sorts of things that finish up in there, tools and all sorts of implements. So we've got drums of oil on the deck there. This was a plastic HO kit that was actually orange in colour, if you can believe it. And it had a deck with it, but I made an additional deck to suit it out of balsa, and I made the piers, the wooden piers out of balsa as well, and sort of transformed this thing. I've done grey acrylic and black and white over it and made it look distressed and really worked, if you like. There's a bit of a ramp on the side too for the guys to bring trolleys down with stuff to take it over to the engine shed. Yeah, this is the other side of it, and yeah, it's got signage and everything. Needs a few blokes working there and a bit more stuff hanging around. Yeah, but it sits next to the siding there and can accept deliveries quite easily for anything that's required. Now, off in the distance here, we've got a big water tower to service the station and the engine shed. I think that's a Hornby model and a resin kit. The intention is to eventually darken those bricks on there. I'm not 100% fussed with or pleased with the orange colour, but it's not a bad model actually. Very heavy. But yeah, that's another future project. Lots of future projects, folks. And here we have another little Hornby shed that's been painted up and everything, and distressed a bit to make it look a bit more weathered. I think that was one of these cream coloured line side cabins, which are pretty basic really. So there's some glazing put in the other side, and yeah, and I've painted it all with acrylics to sort of make it look like weathered timber. And it's come up okay, and it's on a sort of a gravel pathway that leads eventually over to the engine shed. This is a Daypole kit turntable that was painted up in GWR colours. It's got a hybrid sort of drive system, which is a combination of Meccano and bits and pieces, and a motor with a gearbox on it which revolves very slowly, and it's a belt drive one. Unfortunately it's not indexed, so I have to line the tracks up manually to line them up, but because it goes very slow and I've got a push button to actually control it if I need to, I can line them up very accurately. And when they are lined up, I've got a locking system pretty much like the real thing to lock the table in place so trains can run across it. It's set up electrically so that the polarities change over when it revolves. Yeah, that was quite tricky actually, and it worked out quite well. Here's a view along the turntable towards the engine shed, and when I built the turntable, I wanted to have timber decking there that went beside the rails and in between the rails. So it's only card that's been scored and then painted with acrylics to simulate a timber deck. And of course, there's oily marks on it and all that sort of thing, which you would get from steam engines going across it. And of course that leads us over to the engine shed yard, and this is a Metcalf engine shed that's been totally reskinned with scale scenes paper. The roof has been converted over to a corrugated roof, and there's wire walkways along the top of the roof as well. The interior detail is pretty much the same as the Metcalf kit. However, I have added lighting on a grid system in there, so it lights up as well. We've got a couple of locos in the shed at the moment, and you can see up through the skylights and everything. It's quite atmospheric, this shed. And there's a couple of crew over there. I don't know whether they're getting ready to sign on or whether they're getting ready to knock off, but they're having a bit of a chat, whatever they're doing. Now once we get in the shed, you can see all the work up the top here, and you can see my lights there going down the centre, and I've got those on a track system, as I mentioned, and they work quite well using that. They're LEDs, and I've got rubber or nylon grommets, I think they are actually, that are lamp housings, and yeah, you've got to paint them black and everything, but you use the leads on the LED as part of the actual connection onto the track, and it looks like they would be the normal rods that would suspend the lights. Yeah, but anyway, that's come up quite well. And you know, we're back out here in the yard, and you can see my couple of blokes here having a chat, talking about the locomotives, etc. And we've got some locos behind us as well. We're not too far from the tunnels here as well. So what we'll do is we'll go over and have a look at the tunnels, and that'll finish us off, and we'll just wait till the track's clear, because there's a train going past at the moment, so we'll just wait till that's gone, and then we'll have a clear go at it with safety organised by the signal box and the station master, so it's safe to go over there now. Yes, we've actually got 3 tunnels on this tunnel system here. The 2 smaller tunnels that you can see here, the one on the your right would go to Newmarket Yard, and the one on the left goes to Duxford. These are both storage yards, but when you give them a name it sounds like a destination. Walls here are made from foam board. I don't know whether you're familiar with that, but it's foam sandwiched between 2 bits of card, and it's very light, very flexible and easy to cut. It's a joy to work with actually, and so all this brickwork here was scored into the card, and the archways were done with a compass, and it took a while to do it, and then it was roughed up with a bit of very fine sandpaper to give it a bit more texture instead of just looking like card. And then I went to work with some pastels and added some sort of weathering to it, and this is how it's come up. And yeah, it's quite good. We'll have a look at the other tunnel as well. Yeah, this is the mainline tunnel, and there's 2 tracks going through that one, and that's exactly the same process. And of course, what you do when you're making these tunnels is you take the paving on the foam board a lot further into the tunnel, or further, or as far as you can go where it can't be seen, the end of it that can't be seen. So it looks like it's a continuation of all the paving, if that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, what I did with the tracks here when I first designed the railway is I didn't leave enough room between the tracks to actually put proper sized tunnels in. And so when it came to doing tunnels here, I always wanted to have tunnels, but when it came to doing the tunnels here, I had to make them myself, because they're actually much narrower than what a standard tunnel would be. And one little piece of track actually had to be realigned slightly, because the clearances are so tight on this middle tunnel that when some of the coaches were coming out, they were actually banging on the edge of the tunnel. So I had to just move the track a little bit. But now everything works fine. So, but there's not much clearance there. Everything goes through, but only just. Anyway, that's model railways for you. Okay folks, well that's all I've got for you for May in 2024. So I'll see you online, and I'll see you next month. Cheers, Gormo.